Man, folks have been pissed off and angry. I mean, mad at me. And I'm like, what the heck are y'all mad about? What did I do? And, one email I got the other day, it kept me up all night. And it just infuriated me. And listen, y'all, truth of the matter is, I can't be everybody's friend. And it's not that I don't want to. And this type of work is almost impossible. It's impossible. So I've been getting angry folks coming for me. Other folks that have been mad at me. Other folks that are like, did I do something wrong to you, Cortez? Did I offend you? Did I say something wrong? And I'm like, no, you didn't. What are y'all talking about? So I figure I'll address this because it's happening more and more and more. So here's the deal. Let me give you this story because this is the most recent one. So this guy flew in here from Germany, been living abroad for many years, and he flew into Mexico. He booked a telephone consultation. Just wanted to get some ideas about Merida, the lay of the land, et cetera, et cetera. And he was like, hey, I'm old school. He's an older gentleman. He's like, I'm old school. I like to kind of do business face to face on the handshake. Can I, instead of doing a telephone consultation over the phone, can I meet you in person? And I typically don't do that because, where I live, hell, an hour telephone consultation, it take me 30 minutes to get to where you're at and then another 30 minutes to come back home. So that's an hour lost right there. But again, from time to time, I will meet up with folks like that depending on what my schedule's like. And, so I met up with the guy. We these 1 hour consultations, when you meet a person in person, it's never 1 hour. It turned into 2 hours or 3 hours. And so we drank a couple of beers. We chit chatted, just kind of gave him the info about Merida. And he asked me, he was like, hey, are you able to help me find a place? Send me your information on that type of service. And so, that night I sent him an email with our relocation services. And, like I said, we're not the cheapest in town, not by a long shot. And so he, I didn't hear back from him for a day or two. So I sent him a message 2 or 3 days later. Said, hey man, just following up to see if you got it. He said, oh yeah, I got your stuff. I'll look it over. Then a couple of weeks went by. By that point, I already know there ain't nobody going to do anything. So, I just sent him a friendly reminder. Hey, just checking in on you, seeing if you were able to find a place. And he was like, yeah, I found a place. I didn't need your services. Thank you very much. So that was 3 months ago. And so the other night, I'm here taking Malika to the airport. She needed to be picked up at 4 a.m. in the morning. So right at midnight, I'm like, I'm going to go to bed and get up in 3 hours and go grab her. And so my fundamental mistake, reading emails that late. I generally don't read emails before I go to bed because some of these emails can take you there, throw you off your sleep game, and now you're all pissed off and mad and hot under the collar. So this brother sent me an email, and he's like, and again, he ain't the only one that does this, and so that's why I'm talking about this in this video. He's like, hey dude, what's up? Got your email. I ain't heard from you in a couple of months. I don't know what's up. I thought, you would have reached out to me some more. Then he goes on with this piece. Everybody who speaks English ain't your friend. Now I understand and see how brothers move in Merida. In other words, I see how this is how black folk move in Merida. This is how we do or whatever. And he was like, no hard feelings, good luck, blah, blah, blah. And so I'm like, man, I ain't gonna answer this. I'm going to sleep. I went back to bed and I just couldn't go back to sleep. I was steaming. So I messaged the guy back because it bothers me. I'm like, dude, you paid for a telephone consultation to which I agreed to meet up with you well over an hour, spent damn near an hour driving there, 30 minutes there and back, because it's only about 20 minutes down the road from me, but still 20 minutes there, 20 minutes back, that's 40 minutes. That's damn near my hour consult. So I went out of my way, and this is how you gonna talk? So I messaged him back. I said, you pay for a telephone consultation. Services have been rendered. You thinking that I need to be calling you, checking in up on you, and hanging out with you is absurd. I'm like, what are you expecting? I'm like, dude, this is a business first and foremost. I run a business. I help people do their stuff. And this guy's retired. I'm like, I got 5 children, 3 of which live with me here in Mexico. And I have other responsibilities. I don't have a social club where I just mingle and meet up and hang out with folks all the time. Now, there's some other folk that come down here to do that, to hang out with other folks that they met online and all of that. I was like, man, I got my own family. I got my own household. Everybody dealing with everything. Everybody, how every family had their own issues, health, sicknesses, whatever, school activities, your own family business. You know what I mean? I'm like, how you getting mad because I didn't call you to come hang out with you? So I kind of went in on them about that. I'm like, man, I generally get a vibe of folks sometimes, and I'm glad. For me, I'm like, I'm glad things didn't work out, because if this is how you act, and I'm like, what are you mad for? Services were rendered. I'm not trying to be. It's not that I don't want to be y'all friend. I don't have time. I'm here on a goal. I'm here on a mission. I'm here to save. I'm trying to get ready for retirement. I'm trying to get my kids ready and get them sent out into the world. And I just don't have a lot of free time. The friends I got, they on me on a regular basis. Like, man, you need to relax and chill and hang out more often. And, and they're retired too. You know what I'm saying? And so I don't have time. I don't have as much time that I would like to hang out and enjoy and spend time with them, because of the stuff that I got to do. Again, kids, they're about to move into that next phase of their life. We're trying to prepare for our next phase, retirement and planning and all of that stuff. So time is not a commodity here right now for me, although I have plenty of time. And the time I do have, I like to enjoy hanging out with my household, my family, going to the beach, going to these small little towns, hanging out, watching movies, and just hanging out with them. I don't need nobody coming in here trying to dictate and tell me what I'm supposed to do. You know what I mean? So I'm saying all that to say, because this has happened more often than not. If you come in here, make sure you come in here for yourself. Oftentimes, and I'm dealing with 2 clients that just arrived recently, and she's been saying to me, a few times, and it was a good thing that she said it, because I'm thinking, that's a great way to put it. That's a great way to put it. She says, I realize you don't know me, but I feel like I know you, Cortez. And she said, I have to remind myself that this man don't know anything about me. But I know everything. I know his kid's name. I know what they've been going through. I know a lot of the struggles they face, but this guy doesn't know anything about me. You know what I mean? So when she said it that way, I was like, that's the perfect description. It's a perfect description. And so it's not that I don't like hanging out with folks, because there are not many. There are several folks that I just naturally click with. And sometimes those relationships will expand, and slowly over time they'll evolve into friendships. Even Robert, I think it took knowing Robert for about the first few months he got here and I got here, we got here about the same time. There'd be sometimes he would call, I'd be dodging my phone, not answering my phone. He like, hey dude, let's go hang out. And I'm like, man, because see, what y'all need to understand, I'm an introvert. I'm a loner at heart, and I've said this in Malika's interview. I enjoy being by myself. I'm not a people person in terms of hanging out. 99% of the time, you will never see me at any of these local events that expats put on. Because I'm just not a person that hang out in groups with large amounts of people. I don't talk. I'm quiet. I'm very quiet. I literally like being to myself, mostly because I really am shy. Don't seem like it because I'm running my mouth on camera, But see, what I need to understand is when it's me and the camera, there's nobody around. So I'm extremely comfortable by myself. I'm extremely comfortable by not being around anybody. So, when I get around people or I have to engage people, I'm no longer comfortable. Now, when I'm dealing with you one-on-one as a client and, and I'm there 1,000%. You call me for anything, you send me a message for anything. While you're here, I got you 1,000%. And I think sometimes what happens is it confuses people to a degree, because I had one lady send me a message and was like, "Why are you angry with me? What did I do? Did I say something? Did I offend you? Oh, I'm sorry, whatever I did wrong." And I messaged her back. I'm like, "What in the world are you talking about?" You know what I mean? So this young lady had hired us for relocation services. We spent about a good 10 days with her. Got her situated, got her powered, not powered, but got all her services turned on, internet, stuff like that. Took her shopping, took her furniture shopping, helped her get everything situated, found doctors and set up appointments, everything. And again, I'm with you multiple hours, this particular lady, I'm probably with her 4, 5, 6 hours a day, for about 10 days straight, just helping her get situated. So, and at the end of that, it's like, hey, all right, I appreciate you. Thank you for, hiring me. Thank you for using my services. Before I leave you, is there anything else you need? And so it's generally often, no, I'm good, I'm straight. And for me, it's always, once you're a client, I got your back for life. So it's always, if you need something, call me. I don't care how little it is, how big it is. Send me a message. You got my direct contact details. If you get lost, if you get confused, call me. And this particular lady, and as do with all of them, after about the first week or two, they generally have some stuff that just kind of pop up. And, again, they can call me. So they call me, they send me a message. But once they get settled and kind of off on their own, it's like, all right, they straight. I'll check in every now and again. That's about it. And so with this particular lady, and again, this happens more often than not. A few months went by. What happened? I got that message. What did I do? Did I offend you? What did I say? And I'm like, what are you talking about? You ain't do nothing. Well, I haven't heard from you. I see you on your videos. You're going out. You're hanging out. You're doing this. You're doing that. And I wanted to come along, and and I'm like, okay. I'm like, so it's important that, and I talk to y'all about this all the time. You got to get here and have a plan. You gotta get involved in stuff. You got to get involved in activities. I don't know, whatever your hobbies are. Like Robert, he took scuba diving classes. Robert is into all kinds of stuff. You know what I mean? And he meets people as a result of that. And, you just got to get involved. You got to kind of create and make your own life. It's not one of these things where you're just going to show up and we just going to be hanging out 24/7. Because Robert is a hanger-outer. That's what he prides himself on, being a hanger-outer. I'm not a hanger-outer. I'm a insider-out. Well, I don't know what hell, that probably don't make sense. But I like to be inside. I like to stay home. I'm very comfortable at home. We'll go out together as a family. We'll go places. We'll do things. And that's what makes me happy. You know what I'm saying? I take my kids to their classes, to their appointments, to their events. Every now and again, something to come up, we'll go. I might find something that's like, hey, let's go to check out this little magical town 3 hours away. Let's ride out and make a weekend trip. Hey, let's go stay at the beach, stay the night or two. Let's go do this. But I'm with my small little crew. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking about signing up for some karate classes just to kind of have some, for health purposes. I'm 50 years old, starting to get a little bones starting to tighten up a little bit, and so, I need to find something. So you got to find something to do. You know what I mean? I'm not saying this in a negative way or a bad way. I'm not your entertainment. I'm not. Again, I don't know you. I don't know anything about you, and and I just want to, again, I'm just stressing this. It's important that you have something to do, something to look forward to. You got to plan this out right. And I've said this before, oftentimes a lot of people end up going back home because once they get here, they lock themselves up in their apartment or their house, and they just don't come out. They don't mingle. They don't socialize. They don't do none of that. Whereas for me, I'm perfectly happy not socializing and not mingling and not doing anything. But that's me. Not everybody's like that. Many people need other people. And all you need is one or two people that that you form relationships with, friendships with, and for most of you, you're going to be all right. One of the things I do with my clients, I do try and mix them in with other people that I feel they will jibe with better. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to reinforce that. It's impossible for me to be friends with everybody. As much as I would love to, it's just practically impossible due to the sheer number of folks that I'm running into. And like I say, sometimes some people that we meet, it just naturally works out. Malika was one of those such people. And it didn't happen immediately. She started out as a client. She lived up the street from me. It became, like I said, I got your back. She was like, hey, Cartez, whenever you're going into town, can you give me a shout? I might ride with you, blah, blah, blah. So every now and again, I'm like, hey, I'm about to run to Costco to get this. Hey, or I'm about to run to the butcher to go get some meat. You want to go get some? And, and those little trips, again, the relationship just kind of start to form. She's down the street from the house. I know she's there by herself. And I'm like, every now and again we might have a barbecue. And I'm like, hey, you want to swing? Want me to come scoop you up for the barbecue? Kim is doing this. And, Malika likes to bake. She been baking us some cakes. She's like, Cartez, I got some peach cobbler. Come grab it. I go get that cake. And we be eating that cake. Kids be done tore it up. And they gotten to liking Malika. And so some of these relationships just naturally form and natural friendships develop, etc., etc. Again, it's impossible for it to happen for everybody and with everybody just because of the sheer volume of people that we're dealing with. So please don't take it personal if after services are rendered, or if you see me on videos hanging out with some other folks and you're like, well, why didn't he call me? And see, it's not that. It's not that I don't want to. I'm just super busy, and I'm perfectly comfortable, more comfortable being alone in these scenarios, you know what I'm saying? So, but there are a ton of activities. There's a ton of things to do. There's events going on around this city almost every day of the week. Most of them are free. You don't have to pay. You just got to put yourself out there and expose yourself. And I know how difficult it is getting started. And listen, I came here with a family, so I'm not here by myself. And it's different for those coming with family versus those coming by themselves. The dynamics are different. I got folks that I'm dealing with and seeing in the house all day, every day, and we can kind of lean on to each other and do things together, go places. Whereas the person that's coming by themselves, they got to it's just them. And so I know the dynamics are different. And hopefully, perhaps what I can do one day, I will interview somebody who have come down here, they're here alone, and perhaps get one of them to kind of share their insights and talk about some of the things they did to form relationships and friendships out here and how they kind of navigated I'm not talking about solo travelers who just kind of pass through them, but I'm talking about folks who moved here by themselves and developed a whole new life, a whole new identity down here, because this is the time to transform yourself. So yeah, I'll see if I can get somebody on that can talk about this, because this is a real issue. Not just about folks, being angry and mad at me or anything like that, but the issue of finding and building a new life. Because again, a lot of people get bored. Many people return back home because they just couldn't adjust to life. So if you're moving here, and another thing, and I had this happen to me when I was in Colombia. When we left Colombia, folks got mad. They was like, man, you left, we moved and planned and went to Colombia, then you moved and you left, and now you somewhere else. And so I got some folks emailing me about that. Why you in Mexico? You talked up to Colombia? Man, let me tell y'all something. I got ADD to the 10th power. I was diagnosed when I was 40. Like, cartels will move every 6 months. You know what I mean? Don't base any decision on anything based on where I'm at on my location. I'm liable, and my kids will attest to this. I'm liable to wake up tomorrow morning and say, hey, we moving to Australia. Have your bags packed and ready for 7 p.m. tomorrow night. That's how it happens. Am I right, Haley? Yeah, she said, yep, that's exactly how he do. So she said a random day. And let me tell you what happened. We went to Canada one day. We drove up there. The plan, how long take it to drive there?
Like 20 hours.
Drove up there 20-some hours. The plan was to stay there for like 3 to 6 months, check it out. If they ain't checked out, then we were just going to permanently stay in Montreal, to be exact. And so got up there and got there on Sunday, a matter of fact, got there on the Sunday. Thursday afternoon, I walked back through the house. I said, y'all pack y'all stuff up. We leaving in the morning. This place ain't gonna work. These folks rude, they nasty, they hateful. I don't got time. I ain't gonna spend another dime here at all. And so that was Thursday night. Didn't know exactly where we were going. But Friday morning, we was in the car rolling out. I think we ended up traveling around, visiting some relatives I never met before, passed through one of my best friends in Indiana, and then we made our way back to Georgia, hopped on a plane and flew to Colombia and lived there for a minute. So I'm a random guy. I'm here just to share information. The goal of Move Abroad and Thrive was really originally, and going to get back to that plan, was initially created to identify countries where your money go further and stretch further, and where your quality of life can improve without, it being so expensive, and identify those areas and share those cities and share what's happening on the ground and share what place is safe, so that people can have some options and a variety of places to choose from to go investigate for themselves. That was the original goal, and so I'm hoping to get back to that sooner than later. We got here, kind of got sick, and kind of got stuck in a holding pattern. But now now that everybody's well, we more likely gonna kind of get back to it. I'm trying to juggle it and figure it out, because kids about done with school in about another year or two, and just trying to figure out what the best move is. So kind of back and forth on some things, but that was the original plan. So my advice, investigate multiple places. I'm here just as a resource, as a guide, to share what I'm seeing. And like I say, if we start to travel around to other cities, Querétaro is on the list of places to go. Bolivia is on the list. Honduras, Argentina. What else are we looking at? We're looking at some other places. I'm even trying to identify some places outside of Latin American countries, just to just to see just have some other options. I'm looking at trying to identify some cheaper English speaking countries, for those that don't feel like having to learn a whole new language, because that can be a barrier. So sometimes I want to speak some English. So I'm like, maybe let me see what I can find that has a little more English spoken, without having to go all the way to Southeast Asia. I still want to be kind of close to the States. So that's the game plan, y'all. So we got a lot of stuff to do. So that's it. Please don't be offended. I love everybody. I'm not mad at you. I ain't mad at you with that Tupac. So I'm not mad, and I got your back. And I say all this in the spirit of love. Even the guy that was upset with me, and I might have sounded like I might have been mad when I snapped back in my email, and I don't mean it in a negative way. I got caught off guard in my half sleep pattern, and just kind of responded back because I was mad. I was offended. I was like, what is he talking about? You know what I mean? Then they start throwing the race card in it, like, oh, this how, and again, this was a black guy. This is how brothers move. In other words, this is how black folks move. This is what they do. And it's like, man, don't insult me with that. You know what I mean? I'm the most friendliest, they say muy amable, as friendly as they come. And that right there just kind of ticked me off. And I'm like, I sent them a link back to the consultation page. I said, this is what you signed up for. This was a consultation. This, just because you bought a consultation, you don't own me. You don't own me. You know what I mean? I don't jump because he emailed me anytime during the thing. And this is one thing. This is what I will do typically. People that I meet up with, particularly clients, I generally go out of my way for people that have done business with me. If at any time he would have said, hey, dude, whenever you go on fishing with the guys, shoot me a message and let me know if there's room in the boat, I would have definitely done that, because that's how I met other folks. Again, with my clients, if I got something going on, or if there's an event that's happening that I think they might be interested in, and I remember, I will let them know. I was like, hey, they got this going on. Hey, they looking for an extra person. I got some folks here. They going to the pyramids. They meet up at such and such. If you don't have a car, you just get to this location. They will take you into one of the cars and bring you back, and most likely will drop you back off at home. So there are plenty of opportunities to meet people. Get inside of these Facebook groups. Join our VIP group where you can kind of introduce yourself and perhaps meet other folks that are here. moveabroadandthrive.com/VIP. Become a member. People are always looking for other people to hang out with and share things with and participate in activities with and whatnot. So I'm going to start rambling. I got to go pick Charlie up from her horseback riding class. So thank y'all for watching. If y'all, again, take a look at our VIP. If you're looking for ways to make money online, visit my other website, cartesross.com, and learn how to make some money, package up your talents, your knowledge, and skill sets into courses. We've helped several people here package up their information and turn it into courses. Our most recent course that we helped set up for somebody, the young lady by the name of London, had her own trucking company, and she's got a course out. Visit her site, truckingforprofit.com, www.truckingforprofit.com, singular. And, these are just creative ways to start making some money to support your lifestyle regardless of where you live. I'm out of here.